A lot of people have collected a ton of parking coins and they're not sure how to use them. In this video, I'm going to be giving suggestions on how I think you should be using your parking coins in the most effective way. Hello everyone and welcome to another video of this guy channel. So we're at the Auto Mart where you can start using some of your parking coins and try to get the best return for the parking coins in the Auto Mart. Well, first of all, you must be wondering, how can you get parking coins? Well, there's a few ways. Number one, by charging people parking fees or not charging it altogether and getting 5% anyway. And that can get you a constant source of parking coins. You can see that my fee is reasonably high, 20%. I allow anyone to park there, and of course the people do pay the parking fees, so 20% of what they collect I get as a fee. Now, to make sure that a lot of people do still come to my parking lot and park there, I've always tried to make sure that I have the maximum bonus that I can possibly have to incentivize them to come here and park and give me the 20%. This happens to be a nice passive income of parking coins, and that's why it's important for you to have these buffs maxed out. At least the first row, which is non-stat related, assuming you do not have a lot of active alliances that fight each other. The second row is probably not as important as the first one because it actually increases the bonus they get, and that's what they're going to be looking at when they're deciding where to park. And the other, of course, is by parking in other people's lots, and based on the amount that you are parking, you can actually see how many parking coins you get per minute. Make sure that you're parking the ones that give the highest amount of parking coins so that you are getting as many parking coins as possible. All right, so once you have the parking coins and you're wondering where to use them, let's get to that part and let's go to the Auto Mart because that's where you're going to be spending your parking coins. One thing you can get is the remodeling guide. It's 5,000 each. So you can get 5 with 25,000. And what it does is that it gives you a little bit of experience for the mounts, allowing you to level them up a little bit and hence get a few extra stats. I personally have a bunch of them here. You can see that if I do decide to end up using them, I can actually get a lot of remodeling points. And that remodeling points can actually get me a bunch of stats as I level my mounts up further. Now, to be completely honest, the amount of remodeling books that I have, I didn't actually buy them. I got them from parking mounts and I have been using them on some of my mounts as well. I didn't go and buy them in the Auto Mart. I don't know if it's a wise thing to do. You could. It doesn't seem it's extremely expensive, but it is a little bit pricey, especially if you're getting it every day. What next? There's the offline warp. It immediately gives you 1 hour of offline rewards. I don't generally buy this. You can if you want to. It's again 10,000, but I'm assuming if you buy it every day, it does add up, right? And there's the construction rush, accelerates, magic lamp, tech, and mana upgrades by 60 minutes each. Not that valuable in my opinion for 15,000. I mean, I'm not really upgrading any of these right now, so I don't see how that helps. There is the Express Mine Pass, and this has sort of changed from what it used to be. It used to actually give you more ore for up to 50 ores, if I'm not mistaken. I might have messed it up, but basically every time you mined ore, you got a 50% bonus on whichever ore you mined, and it lasted a certain amount of time. I think it was 1 hour or something, and you could use it up to 50 times on each of these passes. Now, of course, with the change in the mining system, it gives you a medium normal mine upon purchase, which might not be bad because you know what, there's a limit on how many mines you can get. So perhaps this could be something you could spend on. Before, I remember when it gave extra 50%, it was definitely worth the purchase. Now it probably still is, depending on how many parking coins you're willing to invest. This has a weekly limit, so you can only buy 3 of them every week, putting the weekly cost to 75,000. So it's not crippling, but it depends on how many parking coins you actually have. Bountiful Harvest, it actually for 3 hours gives you 50% extra fruit. It's pretty similar to the mining one, and its limit is up to 30 times. And when you go offline, the timer pauses and the team doesn't harvest crops. So there are measures in place making sure that you don't really miss the 3 hours, right? So you could have this active and then basically, go offline, and you can continue having it active once you come back. This, in my opinion, is a worthwhile investment. It does give you a bunch of extra fruits, so definitely worth purchasing 3 of these each week. The Dark Trials card, you can see I've already purchased it. 250,000. It is a little pricey, but Dark Trials are pretty nice, so I've been buying them every week. Breeding Care card, it's 80,000 each. It's not too expensive. It does decrease the time of breeding avians. Again, it's a good thing if you are breeding avians actively and you want to reduce the breeding time so that you can breed more. This can come in handy. Its weekly limit is 5 every week. And of course, it works for 2 each time, so that's 10 avian breeding sessions reduced because of this. Now, don't forget, it is a limit of 3 hours, so you do have to make sure that you're ready to breed when you're about to use these cards. You don't want to have them active and then not actually breed anything during the 3 hours. Fast Battle card, 80,000. You can buy it daily. It adds a 30 minutes extra speed up, and that's the speed up that you already have. I don't think it's too valuable. I'm not really using all the speed ups each day anyway, so this doesn't really add anything for me. Now, going over to the decorations tab, this is where it gets a little interesting. First of all, you want to make sure that you have 1 copy of every single decoration that you can buy. That is a given. It's a must. You want them because it allows you to get those bonuses that I was talking about, the one that gives extra parking coins, the ones that give extra remodel points and adventure rewards, and that's what people are going to be looking at when they're deciding to park. You definitely want to get 1 copy of every decoration, especially those that give parking coins, adventure rewards, and remodel points. The one that gives attack, defense, and health, well, you might as well get a copy of those too. However, the priority is definitely going to be the ones that I talked about earlier. Now, once you have a copy of each, you have the maximum possible rewards. You do not need multiple copies to increase the number of parking coins people get when they park in your lot. Copies are particularly for your stat bonuses. You see, if I have this one right here, the Flower Gate, it gives an extra 5% parking coins when using my lot, but if I upgrade it, it still gives 5% parking coins. That doesn't change. What changes is my stat bonuses, which is the decoration passive effect, which goes into my base stats. In other words, the benefit of getting extra copies is purely stat based. Now, you want to get the maximum stat bonuses for the minimum price. And as you take a look at this decoration, which is 2-star, going to 3-star gives 160 extra attack, defense, and health. Here's another example of a decoration that's 3-star going to 4-star. It's giving again 160 attack, defense, and health. Here's another one that is already 4-star and going to 5-star. It's giving 160 attack, defense, and health. Now you can see the cost of upgrading from 4-star to 5-star is actually 3 copies of this decoration, but going from 2-star to 3-star is 2 copies of the decoration. What does that tell you? Well, that tells you that as you keep upgrading it further, the bonus that you get remains the same. However, it costs more and more items to continue leveling it up further. And more item means more costs. The other thing to note is that certain items cost much more than others. Like here, you can see this one costs 600,000 for a single copy. This one costs 200,000, 400,000, 500,000. And then there's some that are even 140,000 or 120,000. Now, of course, the ideal thing to do is to take out a paper and a pen, see which one gives you the cheapest cost for the next level, and then just focus on those. But you can also do a little bit of a quick mathematics and figure out that something that's 120 each, and you need only 2 of them to go to the next level, is probably cheaper than the ones that are requiring you 400,000 for a single copy. So you might want to prioritize the cheap ones. But of course, a point is going to come when you're going to need 3 copies of this 120,000 parking coin item to get to the next upgrade. That makes it 360,000. And therefore now another decoration that only costs 150,000 per item and only needs 2 is now cheaper, because now you're going to need 300,000 for that next level as opposed to 360,000 for this. So that's the sort of calculations that you can do. You don't have to be completely accurate, right? You can just use some rough mathematics, but try to see which ones would give you the biggest stat bonus for the investment. There's another catch though, and that is exclusive items. There are certain items that you cannot purchase after a timer runs out. And those are the exclusive items. They're only available for a certain time. Usually they're there for a month. You always want to have a pretty decent stock of parking coins saved for those so that when they come out you can actually max out on them, because after a certain amount of time they're not going to be available to purchase. So those stats are going to be locked out if you don't have enough to upgrade them to the maximum. You can see here Mona stand 5 purple stars because I purchased every single copy of them, even though the cost of doing so for each of the jumps was much higher than, let's say, just getting 2 copies of another decoration and getting the same amount of stat bonuses. The problem is Mona would eventually not be available in the store anymore. So later on, when I have a bunch of parking coins but I don't have anywhere to use them, I'm going to be regretting not buying enough Monas so that I could actually get it to 10 star. You can see I did the same with Dana, I did the same with the bunny, I did the same here, and basically all of those that are exclusive, I try to make sure I have enough parking coins saved up to get them immediately to 10 star. That becomes a decision that I don't need to calculate because I know that this is a time limited offer. All the other stuff I can get over time. This one I do need to make sure I have enough to max them out. And that's pretty much all I have for this video. Before you go, I want you to know you can save a lot of money in the Legend of Mushroom using my promo code, which is now SkyMush1 if you're watching before October 2025. If you're watching after October 2025 or during October 2025, you should check out our Discord or the YouTube community section to see what's the latest promo code, because I do post there once a new promo code starts. There have been some changes that came out in Aptoide and they limit you to using my promo code 5 times every 30 days. So try to use my promo code for the highest value purchases like $300 diamond packs, and then you can use diamonds to buy anything else. There's also been mentioned that you might need to add the promo codes on checkout as well as having them in the Aptoide wallet, so make sure you are doing both to get the extra 5% bonus. Thank you so much for watching. If it was helpful, please like it, please subscribe to our channel, share it with your friends, and I hope to see you in the next one.